Hello and welcome to our podcast mini-series, Building Belonging in Barnwood Circle. This series features Barnwood Circle members and staff at Barnwood Trust. Over 3 episodes, we share our group's journey of learning, reflection and action around belonging and anti-racism in Barnwood Circle. This podcast series is part of a wider project that began in 2024 around making Barnwood Circle a more welcoming and inclusive space for people of all races, ethnicities, faiths and cultures. You're going to hear honest conversations, personal insights and practical ideas from people who have been engaging with this work. Let's get started.
Welcome to episode 3 of our Building Belonging podcast. Today we're going to be talking about making people feel welcome and building trust within Barnwood Circle. My name is Chris and I'm your host for today, and I'll let my colleagues introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Sharif. I'm part of the Barnwood Circle. Actually helped start it up a couple of years back. So yeah, I've been on the project and to bring my own experience to this project, and it means a lot to me.
Yeah, hi, my name's Emma. I've been a member of Barnwood Circle for just over 2 years now. I've been involved with quite a few different projects, and the racism project that we've been working on. Yeah, I've come back and been part of it this time for the 2nd year and thoroughly enjoyed working with everybody on it. It's been really, interesting, and I've learnt such a lot from it.
Okay, and I'm Sharon. I've been involved with Barnwood for many years, really, and I've done, like Emma, I've done various projects. But the anti-racism is the one that is has been quite close to my heart, and because I feel quite passionate about it, and I just want to sort of enlighten people, give people a bit of confidence, or provide the confidence. And I've learned an awful lot for myself about how my behaviour is and how I can make changes.
And so one of the things that we learned about on the project was allyship. And Sharif, I wonder if you want to, say a little bit about what does allyship mean? Yeah,
The allyship for me within the circle and in the projects, that I'm not judged. We work together. And if I can be called out in this room nicely, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Without being judged.
So this project was about making Barnwood Circle a welcoming space for people of marginalised faith and ethnicities, people of different races. And I guess an important part of making that sense of welcome is knowing that everyone in the space is an ally, that everyone is welcoming to everyone. Emma, I wonder, what does it mean to you to be an ally for people from different marginalised groups?
In answer really to your question, then, standing in solidarity with people from marginalised groups is really important. It's important to me because it makes us all feel welcomed and as one and as in a group together. And to me, it's connection. It's recognising that diversity makes society more richer, more creative, more resilient, when we're all together as one. Social change does happen when people unite across their differences.
And I think over this project, we've spent so much time together that we've kind of really built those bonds of trust.
Oh gosh, yes.
And allyship between us.
Yes, well, we've made friends. I've known Sharif some time. We've worked on a lot of projects. Sharon and I have worked on a few, Anika as well. But yeah, we've particularly on this project. It was a very sensitive subject in a lot of the discussions we had, and it was very uncomfortable for some of us. And I am the only white person on the course, on the project, but we've broken down so many barriers and we've discussed issues that we probably wouldn't normally, and we've had fun doing it. We've had not so nice questions and things that we've had to listen to, but we worked and bonded together in solidarity. So it's been really good, really good.
And can I sort of just intervene there as well?
Of course.
Because I think that also listening to what you're saying, the solidarity I think is really good. And I think it's very important. But it's the support. It's the support, I think, is the spine of it all. Because it is, as you said, Emma, it is an emotive subject. It's a difficult subject. And we've just touched the iceberg of it. but it is the support part of it that has bonded, and we've got brilliant friendship from it. And also we know that we can say what we need to say, and it, as Sharif said, it's not judged. But because we have bonded very well with that solidarity and that support, that there isn't any fear about asking, about questioning, about even maybe sort of being distressed about things with each other. You know, there isn't there's no boundaries there,
Yes.
because of the solidarity and because of the support that is, I think, is the spine of it all. We can do these things, and that's what made this particular project so unique and so
Exactly.
special.
So we're talking here about allyship and what it means to stand alongside people from different marginalised groups. We're all disability advocates and allies, and this project was about anti-racism and about being an ally for people from different faith and ethnicities. One of the things that's coming across really clearly is that we all know each other really well, and we've built up kind of those real like trust and relational bonds. But we were also wanting to think about what it might be like for someone new coming into Barnwood, and how we make this a welcoming space for people of different faiths and ethnicities coming into Barnwood Circle. And one of the things that we anticipated that could be a problem was, what happens if someone does say something that's a bit uncomfortable, or says something that's inappropriate or that's racist? And that might not happen in a really explicit way. It might happen in a small way. How are we going to manage that? How are we going to challenge that behaviour? And how are we going to help people to feel safe? And Sharon, I think there was a question that you were going to ask Sharif related to this.
Yes. How do you challenge someone if they use inappropriate behaviour or language?
I mean, it's how you approach. Like, my approaching of that would, one, you know, act quickly, you know, humorous, you know, as I am.
Your humour is brilliant.
Without making them feel that, like, you know, because it could be something minor, you know, but obviously to myself or probably the person, whatever, you know, probably see it in a different light. Now, I'm usually good at that, you know, but yeah, I would challenge it, you know. Again, it's not about judging, it's about educating people, do you know what I mean? And I've done a lot on the project to practice that in these type of situations. But yeah. So Sharon, what advice do you have for someone?
Okay, I think that it's a tricky one really, because you've got to read the signs, you know, and you've got to read the person. You know, are they open to that sort of directional questioning, or do you have to use a different way of approaching them? And I think, Sharif, you've just got such a wonderful sense of humour, and I think that goes a very long way in sort of inappropriate sort of change behaviours. But I think you've got to, and I think again you've got to act quickly. You can't let it lie, because if you leave it fester, then it becomes more problematic and harder to approach. So I think I'd probably know what the person's all about, read the person, and sort of deal with it straight away, privately, on their own, if possible, and look at because out of every bad situation there's always a glimmer of something good. However bad the inappropriate behaviour is, there is something good that you can pick out and use that and say, well, look, I know you're this and you're that, but this behaviour is not quite right. So you are approaching them with a good thing, because you've picked up the bits that, because there is always good things in something bad. And then you can look at the bad bit or the inappropriate bit and deal with that one. But just make sure that they are, they're supported and you are supported, because it's not an easy thing. And Emma.
Hi, Sharon.
What's your thought as an ally, and how interfaith intervene in this, and how to intervene in this kind of situation?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I remember when we were doing the project, I went home and did a bit of research, a bit extra, on situations like this. And we did come up, and I brought it to the group, and Chris kindly shared it with everybody. From what we learnt in the sessions we have, that out there they've been put these, they call them the 5 Ds of intervention. So if situations arise that are uncomfortable and necessary, racism occurs, and not very nice situations arise, the 5 Ds are ways of looking at that situation, how it can be handled. So I'll just go through them briefly, not in any particular order. There's a direct way where you could, as you've probably already said some of these, you and Sharif, calmly call out the behaviour when safe to do so that's direct. Distract, so we can shift the attention to something else to diffuse the situation so it doesn't escalate and get worse. So another one is delegate, so get help from others around you. Delay is another one, check with the person affected, as you said, Sharon, earlier, to see that they're okay, and offer them support. And then the last one is document. Document what's needed, what's happened, in case it's needed later.
Definitely helpful that things like that exist and kind of provide a bit of a framework.
Yeah, it's a bit of guidance, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think so.
But what I really also like listening to you is, like, Sharif, I know that you use humour to diffuse situations and to challenge things. You were doing it really lovely the other day, where you just like, microaggressions.
Yeah. I mean, I'm picking up on my own behaviours as well, throughout this project and things like that. And I do call myself out, and I do call out if I see something. But of course, using humour, that's just natural for me. So again, it doesn't make the one in front of me, the person, feel like a certain way, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Have you always felt able to sort of step in if you see inappropriate behaviour, or is that something that's kind of developed?
I mean, in the past I have, and in the past, and it didn't go, how I wanted it to, but doing this project specifically, it's helped me quite a lot, because I've had this problem in work, with my background, my religion, my colour, used quite a lot, and I didn't approach it very well. I'll call it out. I kind of left it, but yeah, doing this project, I'm using microaggression quite a lot with people, not just in here but outside as well, with family and friends, just letting them know what it means. And again, they're learning, I'm learning.
There was when you were describing challenging as well, Sharon, I always remember something that you said on the project, and I'm going to badly paraphrase you here, but it was something like, you can't meet hate with hate. You have to meet it with goodness.
With goodness, and as long as there's, I do believe, as long as there's hope there, there is a way forward. If there's a light there, as long as you've got hope, there's a light, and you can go towards that light and make it a better place. But you have to start small, and this is our small place. Because success, I do believe success for anything really, but I'm talking about this particular project, success, and this is always evolving. It never stays the same. But success really is where, it starts at a small place, and then it gets bigger and it gets bigger, but it doesn't become big all of a sudden. It has to start somewhere small and build on that. And so I do believe that, yes, if there's a little glimmer of light there, then you can do an awful lot with it. Yeah.
Beautifully said.
So, Chris, what has changed about Barnwood since we've been doing this project?
So that was one of our principles, like making Barnwood more visible,
known within the community.
Making us known, exactly. We talked about people wanting to feel wanted and welcomed, which was lots of the stuff that we talked about earlier, and being really explicit about, that we want different people to come and be using Barnwood Circle.
Absolutely.
And we know that once we're in contact with people, we're really good at making people feel welcomed.
Yes.
Wow. I would go for that. Yeah. I'd say
But we need to not assume that people feel wanted. We need to be really explicit about that. We one of the things that we learned was about giving people permission to be their whole selves. So Barnwood, if it's going to be a place that welcomes everyone, we want to welcome all parts of a person's identity. We don't want people to be coming here and having to leave a part of themselves outside because if they might feel like that's not okay to bring that. And we've even started asking people as well about, is there particular snacks or something that you really enjoy? If we keep putting out salt and vinegar crisps, but actually like someone really can't stand those, maybe we need to switch that up. Maybe we need to find something else. So just being intentional is, it can just be about preferences and trying to find those things out. But we talked about trust being built over time, which is something that,
Hugely.
really come out from this conversation and just how well we know each other and, kind of like building that familiarity.
Yeah.
I think from a Barnwood Trust perspective, that means that we need to know that if someone comes along to one of our events, that doesn't mean that they're there and they trust us straight away. That actually we need to keep working on that, and it might take, it might take several meetings. It might take 6 months. It might take a year for someone to feel like, okay, I can really trust these people.
Yeah.
And that needs to be okay.
Yeah.
And we had, it's important to know that we have each other's backs, and that people arrive knowing that everyone there will support them. And the last principle that we count is we don't have to be perfect.
No.
no.
Well,
And
none
I-
of us are that.
No, and I think from a Barnwood
Apart from
perspective
Sheree.
perspective as well, like we try not to rest on our laurels. We consistently as a staff team ask ourselves after anything that we do, how did that go? What could we have done better next time?
Sure.
And we ask the people
Always.
who come, what could we do better next time?
Yeah, there's always a questionnaire of how did everything go? Can you give it a rating? So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're things that I think we've changed. They've kind of really crystallised. Maybe stuff that we thought we probably did quite well or we did quite naturally, but we hadn't really written it down before or really thought about it explicitly. And another thing that's changed in Barnwood, so the thing about needing to be visible in the community. So we're now actively approaching our outreach work in a different way.
Brilliant.
We're thinking about kind of how to engage meaningfully with different people from different communities
That's brilliant.
within the county.
Fantastic.
Is that like at local hubs as well?
It's at local hubs. It's thinking about kind of where can we go to meet people where they're at? How can we take Barnwood out to people and talk about the work that we do and the opportunities to be involved in a better way. And alongside that, we will be monitoring just the demographics of Barnwood Circle to kind of make sure that we are reaching a more diverse range of people, because we know that the more diverse range of people we speak to, the more perspectives we have, and the greater the work that we'll end up doing and the information that we'll have to make lives better for people affected by disability and mental health in Gloucestershire.
And I think also that, by you reaching the community then will do their job and spread that to other people.
Yeah, it's a knock-on
and
effect.
it has a knock-on effect, and I think that, cuts the work down by half a little. If you reach that community, they will filter it out to other people.
Yeah. Spreading the word.
Yeah, spreading the word. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that might possibly be a good note on which to finish.
I think so.
So, great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You have been listening to the Building Belonging podcast. To find out more about Barnwood Circle and the work we're doing around this, please have a look at our website, www.barnwoodtrust.org.